Hey guys, in today's video I have here in front of me a hardy hibiscus, also called um, swamp hibiscus, marshmallow, or rose mallow. It does throw off, well, depending on the variety, but mine here are usually 6 to 12 inches around. Big, nice, floppy flowers. They are pretty tender and they don't last very long. I have some that come back for 2 days, some only last a day and then they wither away. So deadheading on this will help with flower production and not putting energy into seeds. So that is one thing. If you want tons of flowers, either put lots of plants or be out here religiously with some pruners when it's blooming season. You can see these ones here are pretty mature. I mean, well, they look mature. Believe it or not, they're only a year old, so these do grow pretty quick. And normally this plant doesn't come out till about mid to late May, early June. So there's definitely some warming going on that isn't normal. You can see I have 5, 6, 7, 8 varieties here in this one little area, and probably a couple more coming up. You can see that little tiny one in the back there. But the one that I do want to show you, and the reason I want to show you it, stop and see the little rose while we're here. First one of the season. You can see I have another 6, 7, 8 over here. There's a nice one there with some dark foliage. Now that one, the more sun it gets, the darker the foliage is, so full sun is best for that. Here's another little mound. Here's one that looks a little more scraggly. Now this one does look different because it was field grown. They do sow themselves easily, so make sure if you don't want a bunch of plants with flowers just popping up in your yard, you take off the seed pods. It's another reason you can deadhead. But you can see here I have a couple that get smaller and smaller as we go along. That one's a little tiny clump. That one's a decent clump, but it just started. So, and then here we have this one that's just 2. We'll wait a second for the plane to pass. Okay, well, you can see on some plants they do what's called pinching. Most of the time it's called pinching because you could just use your nail to cut through the tender green foliage. I'm going to use pruners here just to show you. You usually wait till you got 6 inches to a foot of growth. When I was doing this semi-professionally, I would do half the plant and make sure it had at least 6 growth points on it, because if not, you could potentially kill the plant if you do it too early. So just take off the top, and same over here. Now, one disadvantage to doing this is it will push your flower time back a couple weeks. Like, you'll have to wait longer for the flowers. But one thing that's really nice about it is you do get more flowers. Another disadvantage is, since there are more flowers, they are slightly smaller, so you got to choose what you want. Do you want big flowers faster, or do you want small flowers and more of them? There again, you're not really doing anything that's groundbreaking here or that's going to alter the plant's life too crazy. These plants will branch out eventually. You're just, if you live in high wind areas, it's good to pinch them back, or if you don't want to be tying them up, there again, I don't have too many issues with them flopping over. If I do, just a stake and some twine usually does the job. Sometimes these do get really big, tall, thick stems like trees, so you do want to make sure, if you do plan on anchoring it, you have something that's going to support it. Now, pinching out the center could also be done on, or is more commonly done on annuals, like these, like the peas here. So what you do here, basically same thing, you just come to a joint, probably one where it doesn't have a flower so you don't knock anything off, but I can't find one. So, you know, we have to sacrifice something. We'll take off here on the end so we don't break it anyway. Just a little snip there. And you can see we took off about a good 6 inches of the plant. And it will start branching out from all these other points where you have leaves coming out. Like I said, it's not anything that has to be done. It is semi-beneficial, especially if you're trying to produce blooms for production or for food. You do get more blooms faster, but like I said, for flowers, you might want to hold off because you do get smaller flowers first. Once you cut off that flower from the top anyway, it's going to be doing the same thing, and it's going to push from other nodes on the plant. Now there are things you definitely do not want to do this to, like something over here we have. Let's just walk to this other side of the yard. Peonies. You cannot make them bush out more if they're the herbaceous variety. That means that they grow from the ground every year. If they're the tree or hybrid variety, then you can do some selective pruning, but that's suggested in the fall or early spring. If you do it early spring, you will be losing buds. Either way, you're going to be cutting off something. But you can see here, this blooms on the end of its growth, and I'm blocking it out with the phone. So keep in mind, if you're not sure, just do a real quick Google search, see if your plant should be pinched out or pruning, or what kind of pruning is acceptable for them. I hope this helped and didn't confuse too many people too much. Thank you for watching.